Live from our 7 Tasmania studios, your nightly news with Kim Miller begins now.
Good evening everyone and thanks for joining us. Well, Tasmanians under the age of 30 are expected to become eligible for the COVID vaccine in the coming weeks. The state has now reached another COVID vaccination milestone. 50% of eligible Tasmanians have now received a first dose.
One jab at a time. For many, the experience isn't highly anticipated.
So I don't think anybody looks forward to getting a vaccine, but it's an important thing to do.
The state's rollout now reaching a new milestone.
At the end of today, we will have achieved more than 50% of our population having received their first vaccination.
25% of Tasmanians now fully vaccinated. 70% are expected to have received their first dose by October. That number expected to climb to 80% by late November.
It's important that Tasmanians stay on top of COVID. It's important that Tasmanians don't wait, that they vaccinate.
But a barrier for those under the age of 30 is eligibility, after an unvaccinated man in his 20s died in New South Wales after catching the virus.
There seem to be quite a few children, teenagers and young adults getting infected. And those are the groups that to date haven't been eligible for the vaccine.
That's set to change in coming weeks.
We're still concentrating on vulnerable populations, but we would expect it's only a matter of weeks before we open up to the rest of the population.
Some becoming eligible even sooner.
Next week we'll also be opening up to 12 to 15-year-olds who have underlying medical conditions or disabilities.
Boosted further with the Moderna vaccine expected to be brought online next month. Meanwhile, police have fined 2 women who recently returned from Queensland for breaching public health stay-at-home orders. One visiting a shopping centre without a mask, the second attending a family function.
It is disappointing to see these people breaching the order, and as a result they've been issued with a fine. So I just encourage all those people that are subject to the order, stay home, abide by the conditions.
Both receiving fines of almost $800. Meg Sides, 7 Tasmania News.
Tasmanians can get their hands on another round of travel vouchers from tomorrow. After the state government faced criticism over last year's rollout, it's hoped more tourism operators will benefit this time around.
Above and beyond a year into the pandemic, tourism bookings are still struggling to take off.
Winter was looking really strong for us, but with these recent border closures, we've been heavily impacted.
As many tourism operators search for a lifeline, Tasmanians are once again asked to holiday at home, with another round of popular tourism vouchers about to go online, redeemable for food and wine tours, car hire or holiday packages.
So we're putting packages into the market for what might seem to be remote places like Corinna, King Island, Flinders Island now with the direct flights by Sharp. They've been selling very well. Who wouldn't want a golf trip to King Island?
Bookings can be made 7 days a week and used on multiple occasions, and accommodation providers say there's more in it for everyone, whether you stay in the city or the country.
What's fantastic now is that people will be able to book on weekends and also people will be able to stay in hotels in their own local government area.
Anyone lucky enough to score a voucher has until the 24th of September to redeem it, but tourism advocates say any unspent cash should go back into the sector.
We'll see where we're at the end of this round, whether it's necessary to do another round, whether it's a case of supporting different groups of businesses.
The Premier urging Tasmanians to spend up big.
I'd encourage Tasmanians who are fortunate enough to receive a voucher to get out and about and enjoy our great state and support our local businesses.
Registrations open at 9 a.m. tomorrow and you need to be in it to win it. Ainsley Kosh, 7 Tasmania News.
Employees at McCain's Smithton plant have returned to work after the frozen food giant backed down on its lockout. Workers hadn't been allowed on site since last Thursday, when McCain pre-empted industrial action by the Manufacturing Workers Union during pay negotiations. A decision by the Fair Work Commission declared the lockout lawful, but the AMWU today appealed that decision. The union and McCain entered their first mediated negotiation session this morning as they try to come to an agreement. Fire investigators believe a blaze at a vacant warehouse in Mowbray last night was deliberately lit. Crews were called to the building on Invermay Road around 10 o'clock and found a fire burning inside. The damage bill is estimated at $7,000. A Tasmanian first dog therapy program is transforming the lives of families with autistic children. Parents say the results far exceed the benefits of some medical support and have never seen their child better behaved.
To 6-year-old Lucas, Vinny the Labrador is more than just a dog. He's a companion, a confidant and a life changer.
From the first time they ever met, they bonded instantly.
The autistic Burnie youngster had previously experienced a volatile and prolonged meltdown spanning as long as 5 hours. That was until Vinny walked into the BUGG family home 3 months ago.
A meltdown had come down to us as if it hadn't happened within 20 minutes.
He's got such a calming influence on Lucas.
His docile personality wasn't enough for the guide dog's casting call, but as Tasmania's first ever autism assistance dog, he was perfect for the role.
He was very relaxed, he was amazing around children, he had a really gentle, kind nature.
Though it wasn't easy for the family, it took a 3-year battle to secure NDIS funding, but they say the stress was worth it. Lucas's confidence has improved, along with his concentration levels, and for the first time in his entire life, can now sleep in his own bed alone.
Beautiful dog has been able to make all that possible and so much more.
The program's proven success has prompted a spike in interest and has forced Guide Dogs Tasmania to breed more puppies than ever before.
We currently have 5 on the wait list, and after tonight we'll have about 50, I reckon.
Garth, Burley, 7 Tasmanian News.
Black and white, wall to wall and on the ceiling too. You're about to see inside what Tasmanian Darren Bishop calls the Members Bar, featuring history right back to the pie's inception. But he'll be leaving the comfort of his Collingwood cave for Sunday's historic match after being one of the lucky few to snare a ticket.
For a non-Collingwood fan, this must seem like hell, but to Georgetown's Darren Bishop, the Members Bar is a place of worship. It's as if Bucks wrote the Bible, and Eddie Everywhere really is. It's amazing Darren doesn't have a black and white TV too.
I've got the philosophy of you can't go to the football, bring it to you and enjoy it. That's what it's all about.
A student of the game itself, Darren knows the history right back to the days of horse and cart. His collection started with a branded bin, moved into yearly Guernsey purchases to look the part, then came renaming the driveway, switching on the pie oven and completing the Collingwood christening with a specially branded beer. So what happens when he gets something new?
It creates a bit of a mess. I've been known to pull everything off one wall to fit one picture up, so it creates a bit of mayhem.
Thank you very much. Now, fans of all creeds, not just Collingwood, are welcome in the Members Bar. But to get along in here, you have to follow a few rules.
You're not allowed to say anything too derogatory about Eddie Maguire or Nathan Buckley.
And as one-eyed as Darren is, he has plenty of perspective as well.
You're winning or losing, you're always a chance, and there's always next week.
But when even your dog dresses the part and the song is at your fingertips, you can tell there can only be one winner going into Sunday's game.
I think we might sneak home by about 37 points.
Tom Johnson, 7 Tasmanian News.
Hundreds of Tasmanians own electric vehicles and it could soon be much easier for them to refuel. The state government has announced another grant round in an effort to double the number of fast chargers and destination chargers around the state.
And it's going to fill in a few of the little gaps that are in the system and allow lower range EVs, mid-range EVs to be able to access the entirety of our state.
Ensuring that those people that have an electric vehicle have the opportunity to ensure that they can get the charge when they need it to continue their journey.
Meanwhile, the government is currently in the process of developing the state's next climate change action plan, set to be released in the coming months. Peter Gutwin says the feedback he's received is that Tasmania's existing target of net zero emissions by 2050 should be more ambitious. A young Northwest entrepreneur is expanding his donut business, which has become a sweet success. What started as an operation out of his mum's kitchen now sees him owning 2 stores and employing 9 people.
Stuck at home in the middle of the pandemic last year, Sonny Beatson started cooking donuts to make a little cash to save for his first car.
Like most 16-year-olds, the first thing you want to do is buy a car, and I knew my parents couldn't buy me one, so I had to do something myself.
Despite starting with a recipe from the internet, a fryer from Kmart and his entrepreneurial spirit, they proved pretty popular.
We sell like fresh yeast-raised donuts, so we make them fresh every day. Like we use real ingredients, and they're all handcrafted.
It wasn't long before his donut kingdom outgrew his mum's kitchen, as well as his Burnie shopfront. Now a Launceston store is in the works, set to open in mid-September.
It feels risky, it's like a big step, but I think that's where you grow, is going in your comfort zone.
He now employs multiple family members.
I think my nan and pop and dad quit their job to work for me, so yeah, it's pretty crazy.
It's madness and good as well, because we all get to get together and be together.
The community is prepared to help other local businesses. We now shop locally, more so than we ever did before.
While the pandemic has caused economic disruption, the Small Business Council says it's also presented opportunity for startups.
Adversity is the mother of invention, and I think what we've found is that many small businesses have seen a niche open up.
I think just don't be afraid to go out of your comfort zone, because that's where you learn.
Josh Duggan, 7 Tasmania News.
Visitors to Riverside Plaza will have their shopping trips brightened thanks to a new mural. Painted by students from Riverside Primary School, the artwork celebrates the flora and fauna found in the Tamar Island wetlands.
It promotes the wildlife and shows how, if we can look after it, how beautiful the nature can be.
It's just a really nice way of creating something positive in a space and getting people involved in that process.
13 students are participating in the project, which is due to be completed by the end of the week.
Good evening. Temperatures bottomed out at -2 last night at Butler's Gorge and peaked at 17 at Eddystone Point, warming up the resident population of Forester kangaroos and myriad bird life. Hobart and Burnie 13, Launceston and Devonport 15 today. Friendly Beaches 15 as well, Smithton and King Island 14 degrees, Bushy Park, Grove, Low Head and Flinders Island 13 and Strawn 12. A band of low to middle level cloud crossed the state today. Patchy low cloud follows that through. We also have that cloud band pushing south from Melbourne down over the Southern Ocean, with most of the country clear of cloud. Tomorrow the high covers most of the mainland, a weak ridge pushes over Tasmania. Pretty simple that one. The cooler west to southwesterly winds will continue tomorrow up to 20 to 30 knots, reaching 35 knots offshore in the south, swells to 4 metres. Gale warning has been issued from Tasman Island to Low Rocky Point, a strong wind warning for all remaining Tasmanian coastal waters. Hobart 14, a cloudy day, a light shower forecast for Cygnet and New Norfolk. Launceston tomorrow, a top of around 15 degrees, a cloudy day. Devonport 14 and a top of 12 for Campbelltown. Burnie a high of 14, a cloudy day, showers easing from the west, Strawn 13 degrees, a top of 14 for Smithton. St Helens tomorrow a high of 15 and partly cloudy, Swansea 14 along with Fingal. On Friday, a few showers for the west and King Island, they'll develop later over the south. Showers extending statewide on Saturday with snow to 700 metres and a light shower over the north and west on Sunday, fine elsewhere after a morning frost. Sunny in Perth, a shower or two in Adelaide and Melbourne, 19 and partly cloudy weather for Sydney. Fine and sunny for Brisbane, 21 the high. Cloudy in Hobart, 10 degrees, 10 right now in Launceston, currently 10 degrees as well in Devonport. Kim, you've managed to work all the way through to Wednesday, 3 days on, 2 days off. Love your life.
It is good. Thanks very much, Merv. That wraps up tonight's news. Thanks for your company this evening and every evening. On behalf of the entire 7 Tasmania team, good night.